Okay, so your construction business is growing. You got multiple projects going. It'd be ideal if you could just like focus on one project at a time, right? But that's not how you grow a construction business, because you have to have multiple projects going in order for it to all keep flowing, So in this video, I'm going to explain to you, my friend, how to manage multiple projects at the same time without losing your mind, without your whole construction business turning into chaos. Let's dive in. And by the way, my name is Jesse Lane. If you're new here, I have a construction business that runs on autopilot without me even needing to be there. I've worked my way up to just being the founder. I have a CEO that's running it for me. And you can check out jesselane.com to learn more about our coaching program, Automation Blueprint. And if you're not ready to dive into coaching just yet, you can always check out the masterclasses on jesselane.com. They're definitely going to transform your construction business. So if you're in the stage of your business where maybe it's just you and a few guys or a small team, taking on more than a handful of projects could probably be a bad idea. But the whole point behind owning a construction business, any business really at all, is to have a team, to have other people that know what to do and how to do it, so you don't have to actually do it yourself. And that includes not just doing the thing, but also managing the people that are doing the thing, middle managers, right? People between you and them. Letting other people do that is a really big step in your entrepreneurial journey. So trying to coordinate all these different projects when you're acting as the chief marketing guy and the sales guy and the estimator and the project manager and the office manager and the bookkeeper and the admin assistant, and you're acting as all these people and you're trying to manage multiple projects, you're going to absolutely lose it. This, my friend, would burn out even the most driven entrepreneurs after a certain amount of time. Believe me, I've been there. The truth is, multiple projects need multiple brains. And the way to do this is to clone yourself. Now, I know you can't actually clone yourself, but I'm going to show you how to get pretty darn close. So once you kind of have a little team and you got the people that you need, the next thing that you need for this team to thrive is communication. Communication is the number one thing that's going to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine once you have all these people, because people need to talk to each other, bro. And it's up to you to set the precedence of how to communicate and where we communicate. What apps are we going to use? What software? Are we texting? Are we doing Structur messages? Are we going to use Slack? There's so many different options of how to communicate, but it's your job as the business owner to lay out this process and to make sure that it's actually happening, because it's so super crucial. A great precedent to set in your business is a weekly meeting, for example. So if there are urgent issues, you can set the precedent ahead of time, saying you can call my cell phone or text me or whatever if it's absolutely an emergency. But if you have a weekly meeting or a bi-weekly meeting or whatever you want to do to set up a meeting cadence so people can bring issues up during that meeting so your phone isn't blowing up. This is a set process that gives people some structure for communication and how you want it to actually happen. Because if you really want to maintain a clear overview of your projects and keep everything moving and being able to have that think time, you can't be micromanaging, bro. Your phone can't be blowing up at all times, getting all these calls of dumb little questions, right? Another fantastic way to not only communicate with your team, but you need to keep everything in the same place. So for example, let's take Structur, where you have all the daily logs are there. The schedule is there for the project. There's task boards for each project and each department of your construction business with all the tasks listed out. You can even create templates for all this stuff to automatically populate every time you start a new project. And there's shared checklists and there's shared flow charts and there's all these processes mapped out where all this communication and all this knowledge is in one central place. You really want one clear central place like Structur, which you can get Structur software at structur.com. And what's really cool about Structur is it's not just a project management platform. It's a full CRM. It's a task management platform. It's an internal operations platform, so you can store all of your SOPs and your checklists and your forms and your quizzes for your staff and flowcharts so they know the order of operations about how a process actually works. You could have all of your template documents organized into one space for your team to come and download. It's really a beautiful thing to keep all your stuff in one centralized place, so it minimizes confusion. So if you want to check out Structur, just go to structur.com, sign up for a free trial. So when you're managing multiple projects, you really want to train your brain to work on it the right way. And what do I mean by this? Well, the human brain works in an interesting way when you switch from one project to another, a thing that you're doing to another thing that you're doing. It takes 15 minutes or so to kind of readjust and have your brain kind of reacclimate and really kind of get in that flow. So what you could think about doing is to block out your time. Say Tuesday mornings, Thursday mornings, whatever it is, we're doing this specific thing. Maybe you're, checking on your jobs, or you're talking to your project managers, or whatever your day-to-day looks like. Block out those specific things. Maybe in the afternoons, you're doing some thinking time. Maybe that's when you take your Zoom calls, or you're meeting with your team every Wednesday at 2 p.m., say, for example. Like for me, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. for about 40 minutes or an hour or so. It's blocked for an hour. Sometimes we end early. I meet with my C-suite, my CEO and my COO, Chief Executive Officer and my Chief Operating Officer. And they give me the update about how my construction business is doing. You could do the same thing with your project manager and your superintendent. Or if you're the project manager, you could do the same thing with your superintendent, which you should be doing on a normal cadence, but have it scheduled and time blocked into your calendar so you know at that time I'm going to be doing this, and then this certain time of my week I'm going to be doing this. On Wednesday mornings I like to do X, Y, and Z. Maybe that's when you make your content. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And just a quick side note, do what's best for you. If you like to stay up late, if you like to get up early, know yourself and then play to your strengths. And then don't be afraid to, if someone else gets up early, say that's what successful CEOs do. Don't be afraid to stay up late if that's when you get in your zone. I know that's how I work best. When I just work kind of later into the night, I really get into that juicy zone of amazing work. And so the last tip here is to automate your business. So you don't have to think through how to start up a job every single time a job starts. You want a job startup checklist, right? You want a permitting process and checklist. And you want all these flowcharts and everything to work together, and all these SOPs that I always talk about. But it really is important to not have to have either yourself, even if it was just yourself, I would still build SOPs so I don't have to remember every single thing about my business. I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. I don't want to forget that. I'm going to write that as step number 7 in my permitting process workflow. And then I'm going to upload that to Structur, structur.com, to start your free trial. And then, let alone when you start hiring people, it's going to change your whole business. And it's actually going to change your marriage. And it's actually going to change your relationship with your kids. And it's actually going to change your stress levels and your anxiety levels, because you know that your people are doing things the right way and they're not going to forget step number 7. That's the whole point. And even once you have all these steps written out, let's say, for example, your project manager calls in sick, or your superintendent's sick, your office manager is sick. What if they need to go take a 2-week vacation? It's not a problem. Someone else, although it might be a little bit more work for them, they can pick up where they left off, and you don't have to be the one to do it, because they just have to go look at the SOP. So the more resources that you put in place for your team, the less bandwidth that you have to spend as the construction business owner to actually run your construction business. So I hope this video is helpful. Check out Structur.com and jesselane.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Click like if you love me, and peace.